In this video, we are going to learn how to speed up websites with HTTP 103 early hints using Akamai Property Manager and Akamai EdgeWorkers. If you're not already familiar with early hints, that's okay. It's a new HTTP informational response code that can instruct the browser of resources that it's going to need to load the website. This allows the browser to get a jump start on making connections or downloading those resources, which ultimately can speed up the loading time. I covered more details on what they are and why you should care in a previous video. You can find a link to that video in this video description, as well as links to anything that I cover in this video and a promotional link to get you $100 in free cloud computing credits for new Linode customers. So make sure you check this video description and let's get started. Back in October, Tim Varick, Robin Marks, and Debayan Roy published a blog post introducing support for early hints on Akamai's platform. The results were positive across the board. And so the next logical question is, how do we enable early hints on our websites? Early hints are an HTTP response code that can contain headers that look like this. It can be sent after the connection is made and before the initial page response is returned. However, I think it's unlikely that you would be implementing early hints manually, and it's probably a better approach to implement them at the server configuration level. So it's a good idea to check and see if the server software that you use supports early hints or not. And the good news is that some of the most popular open source HTTP servers already support early hints. And even better news is that if your server doesn't support early hints, you can actually still enable early hints at the edge with Akamai. This has a couple advantages, including working with any backend server, not requiring changes to your existing backend server. It can also reduce latency for getting those early hint responses to the clients quicker, and it pairs really well with a CDN if you're not already using one to further speed up the delivery of those CDN assets. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. The first thing you'll want to do is decide which pages would make for good candidates for early hints, and then take stock of all of the static assets and resources that those pages need to load. Unfortunately, you can't early hint everything because the resources that are early hinted effectively behave as if they've been pre-appended to the document head, and then any resource that is loaded in the document after that would come afterwards. And so if you end up prioritizing everything, you effectively prioritize nothing. So it's important to be judicious about which resources you're actually going to early hint, giving priority to the ones that are required for the critical page load, because those are going to be the ones that speed up the site most effectively. Some common critical resources may include things like styles, fonts, JavaScript, sprite sheets, or images. They don't have to be render blocking resources. For example, images generally are not, but they may contribute to the largest contentful paint, so you'll still want to speed those up. Fortunately, my colleagues have created a handy decision matrix that can help you with this. As a rule of thumb, it's probably a good idea to preload any sort of critical CSS or synchronous JavaScript, as well as any of the largest contentful paint assets, which are generally going to be images. And then you can also do things like pre-connect CSS if it's coming from another domain, or pre-connect the largest contentful paint if it's coming from a different domain. Also, preloading fonts and preloading logos is a good idea. Things that you should probably avoid is preloading favicons and any deferred or asynchronous JavaScript, as well as the largest contentful paint if it's an image with responsive sizes. And you're also going to want to avoid anything that can be deferred or lazy loaded, or anything that changes frequently. Same with anything that is either dynamic or personalized across different requests. You'll also want to keep track of any sort of resources that are served from third-party websites. This often can include things like analytics or tracking pixels or font hosts that require some sort of redirect to actually get to the font file, or potentially iframes. A lot of these third-party resources aren't great candidates for preloading because they change frequently or they're dynamic by nature, but they can still be good to pre-connect for that third-party domain. In general, I recommend taking a conservative approach because I think it's better to implement early hints correctly on the right resources, even if they're fewer, than it is to implement early hints incorrectly on the wrong resources. So let's take a look at what this might look like. I have this demo page set up on my website, and if we look at the network requests, we can see that there's a whole lot of things coming in. There's some JavaScript, some styles, some fonts, and some images, as you would expect. Now, the fonts here would make really good candidates for early hints because they're going to be something that doesn't change very frequently. And if we can get these fonts loaded more quickly, we can avoid things like FOUT or flash of unstyled text, as well as potentially some cumulative layout shift if this font loads differently and it causes some shift in the fonts. Next, the styles here are kind of tricky because some style sheets generate different hashed version names whenever they're changed. For example, this version here and potentially this version number here might get bumped relatively soon. These are good things in order to avoid any sort of caching issues, but it complicates early hints because it means that this URL is going to change every time or frequently every time that I change the styles, so I don't necessarily want to go and change my early hint rules. However, this prettify.css file, this one looks like it's not going to change and it's not versioned, so that's going to make a good candidate for early hints. So I'll go ahead and do that one. I'm going to skip these images for now, but the same sort of concern happens for these JavaScript files that also are hashed. And I'm not really sure if any of these are actually synchronous, so they're probably deferred, so I'll go ahead and skip those as well. Now I'm going to skip past these images in this network request as well, and go ahead and move down to this SVG file. This SVG is being treated as an image up here, and this would make for a good candidate for early hints because although they're generally not render blocking, they can cause some layout shift or be the largest contentful paint. So I'm going to go ahead and get that logo downloaded sooner. And now let's consider these images on the main content. So far, this is the only image that's actually visible on the screen during the initial page load, making it the only real critical image. The other two will only be seen if the user scrolls down the page. This means that these two are probably better candidates for lazy loading rather than early hints. And I'm not going to include them for early hints because if the user just comes here and never scrolls down the page, I don't want to tell the browser to go ahead and download these. I want them to only be downloaded on demand when they're needed. Now, if we look at the code for this first image, we'll see that this image actually uses this source set attribute, which tells us that this is a responsive image. Responsive images are great because they tell the browser which image version to load at different screen sizes, which means a smaller screen can load a smaller version of the image. This can reduce bandwidth and improve performance, similar to the lazy loading that we would apply to the other images. Unfortunately, responsive images don't really make for ideal candidates for early hints. Why is that? Because there's no way for the browser to know which version of this image to load. Now, technically, the link header, which can be sent with early hints, does support the syntax for responsive images, including source set and sizes and media, but the browser size is not determined until the document is created. Therefore, the document can only know what size it has once the HTML is there, which sort of defeats the purpose of early hints anyway. Now, technically, you could avoid those different source set attributes on those links and just send all 4 versions of the image with early hints, but then you are sending more assets and resources and taking up more bandwidth for an image that would only be used once anyway, so that's also pointless. And if you're curious, there is a discussion that goes into more detail about this on the WICG discourse page, but I digress. So now that I have this list of resources I want to include as early hints, I can head over to my Akamai dashboard to enable them using the early hints behavior in Property Manager. So I have this property set up at earlyhints.austingill.com. And if I scroll down to the property configuration settings and go down to the bottom of the list, I can see that I have this setting called HTTP 103 early hints demo. Now I created this from the blank rule template. And inside of this rule, I have a criteria that will match at /demo HTTP 103 early hints, and that's the only route that it's going to run on. And this configuration has 2 behaviors. One of them is the EdgeWorkers, which I'm going to skip, and we'll look at this early hints rule that I've inserted. So this makes it really easy to include the early hints. I basically just follow the syntax for early hints and add each resources with a comma separated list here. And the comma separated list is for each resources, as well as the attribute separated list by semicolons. So that's curly brace for the URL, semicolons to separate attributes, and then commas to separate different resources. And we'll notice at the end here that I have inside of this double curly brace, we have user.pmuser103 early hints. This is the syntax to be able to support property manager variables. Now, this is relevant because variables can actually be managed through the Akamai API or CLI. So if I scroll up inside of the property manager, I can see that the property variables, I have one set pmuser_103_hints, and it's just set to an initial value of an empty string. So what good is that? Well, that's where the EdgeWorker behavior comes in. I can see that on this EdgeWorker behavior, I have this set to this identifier of 86825, this demo-HTTP 103 early hints, and this EdgeWorker behavior is going to run before this early hints behavior. So let's take a look at what that EdgeWorker does. So I can see on this EdgeWorker page that if I go to the code bundle, I can actually explore what's going on in here. And this EdgeWorker is going to export a function that runs on client request, which is part of the EdgeWorker lifecycle events. And it's essentially just going to set up an array of other resources that follow the same syntax as we saw before. In this case, it's the two fonts that I want to target. And then it goes ahead and sets the variable that we had defined before, which is this pmuser_103_hints. And it's going to set that to essentially this list of resources joined as a separated as a string of comma separated values. So when this route gets hit, it's going to run that EdgeWorkers, it's going to grab these resources, it's going to assign those to those variables, and then it's going to set these early hints, including those fonts here at the end. And so now the last thing to do is to make sure that our early hints are actually working. And an easy way to verify that it is to check the network tab and in Chrome, you can actually explore the request for the document, and you should be able to see this section for early hints headers, where we'll see the link that contains all of the early hints that we listed in our resources. Now, you may also occasionally see those resources that you've hinted start with an initiator as a preload, or you might see the size here that it's served from disk cache. Unfortunately, or fortunately, my web page is probably too aggressively cached, so it actually is not a good candidate because I'm not able to get these preloaded resources into the browser cache before the page loads. But that's okay. This was just to show it. And if you want another great way to verify it's working, you can use a tool like Web Page Test, which can show you a network waterfall of all the assets that are being loaded. Again, my website is not a good candidate, but here's a screenshot from the before and after web page test on scalemates.com, which is a website that is run by my colleague, Tim Varik. Now, if at any point you were asking yourself, why did I take this list of static resources and split them up across Property Manager and EdgeWorkers and this variable? And the answer is I wanted to show what different options we had. If I were to do this today myself, I would probably just take that list of static resources and either put them in the Property Manager rule on its own for early hints, or if I needed to do this programmatically, I would use the API or the CLI and inject those via a variable. But I wanted to show you how to do all three of these options because when we introduce EdgeWorkers, it provides us with an opportunity for some very powerful use cases that we can't get otherwise. So one option might be to have a route on your origin server that actually returns a dynamic value for the early hints that you want to apply. And then you can actually request this data from within an EdgeWorker using the HTTP request module, and then you can cache the response at the CDN for future visits. This way, you can take advantage of the dynamic nature of your origin server and EdgeWorkers, but also incorporate some of the performance benefits from caching at the CDN. Another option might be to parse a response from within EdgeWorkers and then calculate those early hints dynamically at the CDN and then access them using EdgeKV. And if you'd like to dig into either of those examples more, you can find them in the Akamai Edge Compute examples repo. And one other sort of wild idea might be applying some sort of machine learning logic to a page response and then dynamically generating the early hints behavior that you would want for that page. Now, I've only heard sort of experimental anecdotes about this, but it's something that I want to mention just to open up your mind to what sort of wild possible ideas there are out there. And I would love to see if you build something like this or have questions or comments or concerns, please let me know in the comments below, because that's the sort of thing that I think really gets me excited. So I hope that it's inspired you to check that out as well. In any case, that's as far as I'm going to be getting today. So if you want to dig into early hints more with Akamai, I'd encourage you to check out the page on early hints in the tech docs, as well as the blog post from Tim, Robin, and Debayan. I also want to give a shout out to the excellent talk that Robin gave at We Love Speed Talk last year. I highly recommend watching this, especially if you're a Lord of the Rings fan or you just want to see what a masterclass in conference talks looks like. He really nailed it in making it educational, entertaining, really covering a nuanced topic in a consumable approach. So definitely give that a watch. Even if you're not implementing early hints, just learning something deeper about how the browser works and watching someone give a great talk is worth it. And now I encourage you to give early hints a try. If you need to build something to test them on, once again, you can find a link to $100 in free cloud computing credits for new Linode customers in the video description. Now, this video was a lot of fun to make and a lot of work. So if you want to show me how you appreciate it, give me a thumbs up. And if you want more videos like this in the future, make sure you subscribe so that you know when they come out. All right. Thank you so much. Catch you next time.